These things didn't bother him much. It was more the fact that he'd end up at school when it was finished.
"Do you know how cross-germination works?"
asks Maria, the teacher. Adrian likes her. She's kind to him and makes every effort to make him comfortable. Once, at the beginning of the year, she'd pulled him aside at the end of a particularly bad day and said softly,
"You know, Adrian, it's a good thing to be like you."
He wants to put his hand up and speak, because he does indeed know how cross-germination works. But he knows that it would be impossible. The words wouldn't come, his voice wouldn't be able to carry them. He feels Maria looking at him, and he knows that she knows that he would be able to answer the question. That he is perhaps the only one in the class who could. But he's careful to avoid her gaze. To Adrian it feels difficult and often impossible to meet the eyes of other people. It's as though the act of sharing a gaze is just too much. It leaves him with the sensation of a burn. Sometimes he can bear to look into Mama's eyes. The eyes that are so like his own that he has the sensation of looking in the mirror. But even then he has to work up to it, to consciously steel himself for the moment when they fully look at each other. The bell sounds, and he's filled with an instant visceral dread. It's too soon. He's barely gotten used to being inside the warm, lit-up building after the long walk in the dark and the silent moments between the trees. And now it's time for the first break. The children lurch to their feet and rush from the room. Adrian stands up too, slowly, and shuffles toward the door. As much as he doesn't want to go outside, risking being left alone with the boys in the class, he also can't bear Maria's pity if he stays behind at his desk. If he's lucky, he might be able to slip out from the school's less-used side entrance. It's closer to the far end of the playground and the trees. He turns the corner, avoiding the glances of the other kids, keeping his eyes firmly on the linoleum floor, then on the rectangular window inset into the door at the far end of the corridor. It's just gone 9:30, and there is a beautiful, deep blue light outside, giving Adrian the sensation of looking into water from the windows of a submerged ship.
"Hey there,"
says a voice, close to his ear. He freezes in his tracks, one hand on the door handle.
"He can't hear you,"
says another voice, this one ice-cold and cruel. "Stefan."
"He's deaf, remember?"
Adrian moves swiftly forward, using all his force to shove the door open so he can run outside into the freezing blue air away from them. But he is jerked back hard, by a hand grabbing the hair at the back of his head. It hurts terribly, and Adrian crumples to the ground, breathless. He makes himself stay completely still, focusing on stopping the tears that pool in his eyes.
"He's not deaf,"
says the first voice, belonging to a boy called Yusef, Stefan's henchman, a burly and dumb kid Adrian recognizes by his shoes.
"He's just a mute."
The black, scuffed sneaker in front of Adrian's face suddenly leaps into action and delivers a swift kick into his shoulder. He sits up and tries to get his bearings. If only he could get to the door.
"Fucking weirdo,"
says Stefan, laughing. He grabs him by the hood of his parka and drags him back up to his feet. Adrian's knees are trembling, and he feels as though he'll fall back down if Stefan releases his vice-like grip.
"Can you imagine being that fucking weird?"
The two boys laugh.
"Hit him,"
says Stefan. So Yusef does, very hard in the soft pit of his stomach.
"If you tell him to stop, he'll stop,"
says Stefan.
"Yeah,"
says Yusef.
"Just say stop."
Adrian pushes his tongue against his teeth, mouth clamped shut. All he has to do is find the word, that one word. Stop. But he can't. Yusef hits him again in the face, so hard he topples over and strikes his cheekbone on the window ledge as he falls. They both laugh.
"Why don't you just tell him to stop?"
says Stefan, pushing his wide, red face close to Adrian's, his sour breath making Adrian's stomach lurch.
"Look at me. I said, look at me."
"Hey, stop! Let him go!" a voice hollers down the corridor. Stefan's grip is instantly released. The two boys shoot out of the door, leaving it swinging on its hinges, icy air being sucked into the building. Adrian collapses back on the floor, but is picked back up again. Very gently.